Good morning, students. So today, we're kind of finishing up everything that we're doing in statistics. So one of the things that we're going to be doing is writing the equation of a trend line in a scatter plot. So in short, what we're doing is we're writing the equation of the line. All right. So just a few things to remember. In order for us to write the equation of a line, we have to figure out what the rise is, or what the slope is. Sorry. So the slope, as we can recall, is rise over run. So here, my 2 points have already been identified for me, here and here. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write the coordinates for this first point. So this is example 1. So the first thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna identify this point here, which is when x is 0, y is 2. So my first point is 0, 2. And my second point here is gonna be when x is, as you can see here, when x is 6, y is 8. All right, so I'm gonna put that right there. So, and x is 6 and y is 8. So what I'm gonna do here, from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna label these points x1, y1, and x2, y2. So remember, if you can recall that early in the year when we were finding the equation of a line, we had to find the slope. So slope, which is m, is equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So here I'm just going to substitute these values into this equation here. So y2 is 8 minus y1, which is 2, over x2 is 6 minus x1, which is 0. So we have 8 minus 2 is 6 over 6 minus 0 is 6. So 6 over 6 is the same thing as 1. So we have our slope here, which is 1. All right. So now what I need to do is I need to find my y-intercept. So let's recall where you have y is equals to mx plus b. I need to find the value of b. But for me to find the value of b, I'm going to have to use my slope, and I'm going to select one of these points that I have here. So I'm going to say using points, I'm going to use the point 0, 2, and m, which is 1. I'm going to substitute these in my equation to find the value of b. So here, y, remember this is x and this is y. So y equals mx plus b now becomes 2 is equals to 1 times x, which is 0, plus b. All right. So remember, whenever you multiply a number by 0, it's going to give you 0. So all we're left with is b is equals to 2. So here I have my b value and I have my m. So now I can rewrite my equation. Remember, my equation should say y is equals to m. I already know that m is what? 1. So it's going to be 1x plus 2. All right. Where 1 represents my slope here that we found here, and b is 2. So this becomes the equation of the line. All right. So let's look at another example. All right. So here I have a second example here where my 2 points have already been identified for me, and IXL will do that for you. So 1 point is going to be 4, 8, when x is 4, y is 8, and 1 is going to be 6 and 5. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write these 2 points here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and write these 2 points here. So I have point 1, I have 4 and 8, and point 2 is going to be 6 and 5. So again, from here, what I'm going to do, what I'm always going to do is I'm going to label my points here. All right. So I'm going to label my points here. It's going to be x1, y1, and then I have x2, y2. All right. x1, y1, x2, y2. So now, again, remember, using m, we know that m is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right. So from here, this is going to be y2, which is 5, minus y1, which is 8, over x2, which is 6, minus x1, which is 4. So this now becomes negative 3 over 6 minus that is 2. So my slope here is going to be negative 3 over 2. So now I need to find my y-intercept. So again, we're going to using the points. Again, you can pick any point. So I'm just going to pick one side. So I'm going to use in point. Let's do the first one, which is 4 and 8. And again, remember this is x and y. And m, which is negative 3 over 2. If I have y is equals to mx plus b, y now becomes 8 is equals to negative 3 over 2 times x, which is 4, plus b. Again, remember we're solving for b here. All right, remember we're solving for b here. So what am I going to do? Negative 3 times 4 is 12. So this, I can say this same thing as 8 is equals to negative 12 over 2 plus b. Negative 12 over 2 is negative 6. So 8 is equals to negative 6 plus b. Again, I'm solving for b here. I want to get b by itself. So how do I get b by itself? By adding 6 to both sides. All right. Here comes a little bit algebra, so I cancel that. 8 plus 6 is 14. Now we have on the next side is b. So b is equals to 14. So now I have the value of b and I have my y-intercept. So if the y equals mx plus b, right, it's just going to be y is equals to m, which is what? Negative 3 over 2x plus 14. And this becomes my new equation. All right. So we're going to look at one more and then you guys going to have an IXL to do. All right. So here we have our third example, which we're going to be doing real short. So again, as you can see, the 2 points have already been identified for us that we're supposed to use. So if I go ahead, I'm going to use my 2 points, which is 0, 60, and 80, 10. So we have 0 and 60 and 80 and 10. And this is from here. X is 0, y is 60, x is 80, y is 10. All right. And again, we're going to do what? I have to come in and am I going to identify my points here, which is x1, y1, x2, y2. All right. So these are my points now. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to go ahead and start solving for this. So m, as we know, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So in this case, it's going to be 10 minus 60 over 80 minus 0. So this here is going to give me negative 50 over 80. And you always reduce your fraction here. All right. So when you reduce this, it's going to give me negative 5 over 8. So I have my slope, negative 5 over 8. Now I need to find my y-intercept. All right. So I'm going to say using, and again, you pick any points you want to use. I'm going to pick the first one. So I'm going to say using 0, 60. And remember, this becomes x and y. And my slope, which is m, is equals to negative 5 over 8. Right. Using this, we're going to say that y is equals to mx plus b, which in this case is going to be 60 is equals to negative 5 over 8 times x, which is 0 plus b. Any number times 0 becomes 0, so all I have is 60 is equals to b. And this, remember, this becomes my y-intercept. So from here to write the equation is pretty easy because we have the equation is y is equals to mx plus b. And in this case, it's going to be y is equals to mx, which is negative 5 over 8x plus 60. That's my equation. All right. So now you're going to have some IXL that you need to work on. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Have a lovely day.